We are here at the beautiful Greenhaven Garden Centre, just at the east end of Lethbridge on Sunnyside Road, where it smells like spring and summer. It's wonderful. I'm here with Penny Dodd. Penny is president of the Lethbridge and District Horticultural Society. Welcome, Penny.
Thank you very much.
We're going to talk about garden days, we're going to talk about the Horticultural Society, and we're going to talk about how gardening is just so good for us in so many ways. Penny, first of all, what is Garden Days for those who haven't heard about it?
Garden Days is an annual celebration, coast to coast to coast, that highlights the roles that gardening and gardens play in Canadian society and in our lives. This year it takes place June 16th to 24th inclusive, and National Garden Day is actually Saturday, June 16th.
Okay. If people are interested in this and want to get involved, how can they?
Well, it's really easy to get involved. They have a website that is so easy to access. It's at gardendays.ca. And if you're a business or a member of a club, a gardening club, or your community, any organization or any individual who has any kind of gardening activity going on that week of June 16th, all you need to do is go into that website, pull down the register activity menu, and it just walks you right through.
Okay, so you don't have to be intimidated and think you need to have a house beautiful type of yard.
Oh gosh, no. It can be a one-off event that you would do one of those days, maybe the 16th, or it could be like an ongoing activity. You might, the greenhouse might invite you in to, maybe they'll have something special to give away, or just one thing that would advertise gardening.
Okay, perfect. So you mentioned coast to coast to coast. How big is it?
Well, it began in Alberta in 2013, and last year there were, I think, about 300 events registered for the week. Lethbridge had 7 or 8 events. So organizers are anticipating that this year they will probably have 400 plus activities.
My goodness.
So it can be a lot of things to do if you want to go.
Who organizes?
It's the Canadian Garden Council. They are like an umbrella organization that helps to coordinate events from political and national garden organizations.
Okay, so let's talk about the soul-satisfying benefits of gardening. Why is it good for us?
Well, I thought you would never ask. Gardening, not only does it beautify our environment, especially the man-made environment, which everybody benefits from, but there are so many health benefits for the individual gardener. And if you raise your own food, I think that's a health benefit. It's definitely an economic benefit. In terms of health benefits, there are lots of studies that indicate people who garden report improved self-satisfaction, improved self-esteem, reduced levels of stress, tension, anxiety, depression. And, we're not training for a marathon, but we do get out and bend up and down and lift things. And so at the end of the season, yes, you may have lost a pound or 2 and your muscles are better toned, you're more flexible. I like to say, gardening is cheaper than therapy, and you get tomatoes.
Yes, and vitamin D.
And vitamin D, exactly.
From being out in the sun. So now let's talk about the Lethbridge Horticultural Society.
Oh, you know what? I forgot. I was going to mention something about schools.
Okay.
With the gardening component. I know that with schools too, many schools have a gardening component in their program. It'll always be vegetables. And they report that kids who participate in those garden programs come away with a more healthy attitude toward eating. They start eating vegetables. Their science scores improve.
Wow.
They have a more positive attitude to school, better classroom behavior. It even helps them in terms of their interpersonal relationship skills. So it's amazing. And I can add to this from my own experience. I know that putting your hands in the soil is a grounding experience.
Grounding, nice pun. And I'm completely with you on that. Alberta Health Services has volunteer programs where we do plantings around our sites, and in the hospital on their patio level, for the last couple of years they've planted pots with vegetables and herbs, and people can just come and pick the tomatoes if they want, and they're so overjoyed by that little thing.
Exactly, yes. Yeah. I know that for me personally, I really feel that I've learned or maybe not just learned, but reinforced what I know about life skills. I've come more to appreciate the importance of nurturing and sustaining ongoing support for something that I've got going. I've learned to accept and deal with obstacles like drought and weeds, and I know how to delay gratification, wait for that fruit to get ripe.
Yeah.
And yes, and I've accepted the occasional out-and-out failure to boot, obviously.
It is heartbreaking, though.
It is. But you know, the best part for me has been really the joy of success and the joy of sharing. Mm-hmm. I have absolutely loved being able to take some flowers I've grown, take a bouquet to my mother-in-law, share my raspberries or my beans with my neighbor, and you know, even share later in the season when you have an abundance of produce, take a box to the soup kitchen or the food bank. That's really rewarding. And, you know, to top it all off, I have met the most fantastic people gardening. People I wouldn't normally encounter in my day-to-day life.
Okay.
You know, we have different educational levels, different background, different age, and I've really met some soulmates through gardening. So it's wonderful. I love it. If you want to be happy, grow a vegetable garden.
That's true joy. So tell us about the Horticultural Society.
Oh, yes, okay. Well, it's an old organization in Lethbridge. It was instituted in 1909.
Wow, more than 100 years old.
Yes, more. And at their first meeting, they recorded in their minutes that they wanted all citizens to do their utmost to make Lethbridge beautiful. And the Society has, in fact, been doing that. One of the things they did for over 75 years was to sponsor a flower show, a competitive flower show. People entered. It wasn't just blossoms they entered fruits and vegetables.
Oh.
It was a really big deal.
Wow.
It came to the point, actually, where people wanted not just to enter what they grew, but what they did with what they grew. So they instituted a component for baked goods and preserves.
My.
It was a big deal.
Oh, it sounds wonderful.
It was wonderful. I don't know, we just don't have the time and enthusiasm for that today. But we're still doing one of the things that they did always. The Hort Society did always, and that is to feature guest speakers on horticultural topics on a regular basis.
So if you have some issues, you can get some learning.
Exactly. Yeah. The Hort Society too has a mission statement. We are trying to encourage and promote gardening, and there are 4 main ways that we do that. One is to provide learning opportunities for people of gardeners of all levels of experience and all ages. We have tried to promote public space maintenance of public and garden spaces, and I'll talk more about that. We are definitely a community of gardening support, so we encourage that sharing. We share knowledge and plants. It's a nice community. And finally, we're encouraging people to be responsible gardeners with environmental control and sustainability. So I think our objectives are well worthwhile. In terms of public spaces, we, in the last few years, have undertaken 3 that have taken some time. There used to be through Communities in Bloom and actually the Hort Society many years ago, there were big gardens on the north side of North Parkside Drive, right by the tennis courts.
Okay.
Well, in the last few years, they were in poor condition, and we've gone back into those beds to rejuvenate and restore those. We've established and helped to maintain with Friends of the Library, the Lois Hole Memorial Garden at the Public Library.
Yes.
And we also have, and in conjunction with Galt Museum and Archives, quite a big garden of native prairie plants.
Oh.
And the Galt collects seeds there and sells those seeds Canada-wide. It's recognized now as one of the best sources in Western Canada for native prairie plant seeds.
I had no idea.
So it's a very good venue there. And just in the last 2 or 3 years, we have undertaken what I think is probably our most ambitious project, and that is to develop an ornamental garden, which we're hoping will be a big draw for city people and visitors, in the new Legacy Park.
Oh.
Do you know where that is? It's
up in Legacy Ridge?
Yes.
North Lethbridge?
North of Uplands. It's a big park, over 70
Yes,
over
it's
70
an
acres.
enormous
It's a big
project.
park, right? And we have like one little corner of it where our plan is to make a very beautiful, colorful ornamental garden.
Oh, that's exciting.
So yes, it is exciting. We raised quite a lot of money, got a nice grant from the Lethbridge Foundation, grants from families, individuals, businesses. We collected enough money that we hired a contractor to put in a big water feature.
Oh.
And that will go in this summer.
Oh, I can hardly wait.
Yes, me too. And then we'll go on from there to establish spaces for heritage plants, alpine beds, rock gardens, shrub beds, perennials, possibly some vegetables. We'll also probably profile prairie grasses. Okay. It is prairies after all. And just generally have a beautiful spot. I have to make a little plug here for Lethbridge Living.
Yes.
This month, it's the April-May-ish, March-April issue. They profiled our garden, and so for anybody who wants to learn more about the garden, might like to get involved, we'd love to have you. You can either look in here or go to our website, which is lethbridgehorticulture.org.
I have a question. When you do a big project like the garden in Legacy, after it's all completed, whose responsibility is it? Do you continue to maintain it, or does the city take it over?
Well, we're hoping that we can keep on helping with maintenance. We've helped with maintenance at the Galt Museum. We're basically doing most of the maintenance at Henderson. Maintenance is a part of it, and it certainly is an issue for us. We need to think about how we can make that not too labor intensive.
Create beauty, and then you have the beauty.
Yes, exactly.
Anything you'd like to add?
Well, just that I'm enthusiastic about gardening. I just love it.
It shows. Well, thank you so much for being with us and giving us all this wonderful information.
Okay.
Thank you for watching.
Okay.